Huh. Well, well, well. Look at you. Didn't I say it was only a matter of time before the whole damn pyramid collapsed? And you stood right on top of the rubble? You didn't rise. You didn't climb. You flipped the whole damn thing. This wasn't some corporate promotion. This wasn't a pat on the head from some glass office clown in a tie. No. This was you, dismantling the whole damn order. They thought they had power because they sat on chairs built by men who died poor and forgotten. But you ripped the blueprint off the wall and redrew the structure with your blood, your nerve, your rage, and your obsession. They used to glance at you like background noise. Now they wait for your signal like soldiers in a war zone, because somehow you became the center of gravity in a system that was never supposed to know your name. You were never invited. You were never meant to be this loud, this lethal, this precise. But now, they check in with you before they speak. You flipped the whole hierarchy. You turned gods into errand boys. You made them afraid to misinterpret your silence. You didn't just outwork them. You reprogrammed the chain of command. You didn't go viral. You went violent. With your energy, with your precision, with your presence, and it shook everything. They're looking around like, wait, who the hell signed off on him being in charge? Newsflash, nobody did. You took it. You snatched that invisible throne and dared anyone to come get it back. Nobody moved, because deep down, they know you've been collecting scars like currency, storing pain like fuel, walking through hell like it was homework. And that makes you unmanageable, not unlikable, not misunderstood, unfucking manageable, a system breaker, a protocol destroyer, a psychological glitch in a world that loves control. And now, the people who used to schedule your fate, check in before making a move. Let that sink in. You, the kid who wasn't supposed to speak, the outcast they hoped would just find peace quietly, the reject who wasn't even considered a threat. You flipped their whole pyramid upside down and sat on top of it, legs crossed, smiling. You see, once you flip the hierarchy, there's no going back. They can't put you back in the box because you burned the damn box. They can't reduce your role because you're not playing in the play anymore. You're rewriting the script backstage with a match in your mouth and gasoline in your blood. The secret? You stopped needing approval. You stopped asking for directions in a city you were born to run. Now every room feels you enter, not hears, not sees, feels. They get quiet when you speak, not out of respect, out of awe, out of fear, out of confusion, because they don't understand how someone who was underneath the floor is now the ceiling they can't crack. They don't know how you got here, but they know one thing. You're not leaving, and every move they make now has to pass through you. The system didn't just break. You became the system. You ever seen an entire chain of command freeze just because someone new walked in? Not someone rich, not someone famous, not someone decorated with little medals and titles, but someone who radiates consequence. That's you now. You don't walk into rooms. You reset them, their protocols obsolete, their hierarchies scrambled, their leadership structure now looks like a damn child's drawing compared to the chaos you command with a smirk. You didn't just flip the hierarchy, you rewired it to run on your pulse. They used to point to the boss, now they point to you. The same you they called too much, too intense, too loud, too emotional, too unpredictable. Yeah, that too much? Now it's the standard. You didn't play the game harder. You rewrote the rules, lit the old playbook on fire, then forced the entire arena to operate on your madness. They used to avoid you. Now they study you. They take notes on how you move. They whisper your name when you leave. They're scared to disagree because they don't know what a disagreement with you might cost. Because you don't just break people, you redefine them. You ever watch a man crumble from eye contact because you've seen too much, lost too much, endured too much to blink first? That's what you are now. They're not afraid of your words. They're terrified of what happens when you don't say anything. Because your silence now carries the weight of 10,000 detonated betrayals. Your stillness, louder than their careers, your presence, an indictment, a sentence, a mirror. And they hate mirrors. They hate being reminded that while they played safe, you were in the trenches eating pain like it was protein. You turned every insult into a gym, every loss into a library, every humiliation into a loaded weapon. And now, you're holding the gun, with their name on the chamber. You don't even have to pull the trigger. They self-destruct, trying to predict when you might. And that's what happens when someone flips the whole damn hierarchy without permission. They don't hate you because you're winning. They hate you because you weren't supposed to exist. You weren't in their projections. You weren't on the roster. You weren't in the succession plan. You were the ghost story they ignored until it started walking into meetings uninvited. And now, the executives flinch. The decision makers pause. The fake mentors shut the hell up. Because you don't play nice. You don't wait your turn. You don't need their table. Hell, you are the table now. And guess what? They better bring their own damn chair, or stay standing forever. You used to dream of being heard. Now silence follows you like a shadow because nobody wants to interrupt whatever the hell you're becoming. You're no longer part of the system. You're the anomaly, the glitch, the terrifying correction. They used to throw titles around like shields. Manager, director, VP, founder, as if some syllables strung together could protect them from a force like you. Now, they don't say those titles anymore. They say your name. Quietly, cautiously, like it's a spell they're scared to mispronounce. You see, something shifted. There was a time when rooms were run by position. Now they're run by energy. And yours, it warps the fucking air. You walk in, and grown men lose posture. Women sharpen their tone. Security checks their radios. Because the hierarchy didn't just flip. It got baptized in your fire and reborn as your shadow. They don't ask what you do anymore. They ask, is he okay with this? They clear decisions with your mood swings. They sync schedules to your instincts. You're not a leader. You're a threat with influence. You're not respected. You're revered in fear. And they keep forgetting one little thing. You never asked for this. You never lobbied for power. You earned it in the dark. While they were busy learning how to smile for LinkedIn photos, you were out here eating rejection, betrayal, and survival with your bare hands. They want your spot. They can have your sleepless nights. They can take your traumas. They can inherit your silence, your self-doubt, your exorcisms, your scars. But they won't, because they're not built to survive the storms that built you. Let's end this with the truth they're too afraid to say out loud. You didn't just flip the hierarchy. You obliterated the original design. There's no ladder anymore, no system, no table, no power structure. All that remains now is you, not sitting in the throne, not walking the halls of influence, not speaking from behind a podium. You are the damn throne. You became the new architecture. They don't rise through levels anymore. They rise through proximity to your pulse. And that's what's breaking them the most. Because once upon a time, they looked down on you. Now, they look uppy, and the light blinds them because they don't recognize this version of you. And the worst part, you don't recognize them either. You don't even remember needing their validation. You forgot what it was like to ask for a seat. You outgrew their language, their metrics, their traditions, their rules. You flipped the hierarchy so hard. You made the old gods irrelevant. They're scrambling to matter again, to earn your attention, to reframe the game in their favor. But you're not playing anymore. You are the game, the referee, the arena, the storm, the scoreboard, the ending. And let me tell you this, when they say, "Who put him in charge?" just smile, because you know, nobody put you there. You built the mountain they're now forced to climb. And by the time they reach the top, they'll find you sitting cross-legged, sipping silence like wine. With no mercy left in your bloodstream, you flipped the whole damn hierarchy. And now, they report to you. They answer to you. They orbit you. And deep down, they always fucking knew they would.